Okay, want to show you stretching routine I like to do. In this case, I've got a TRX suspension trainer, but you can use any suspension trainer. It doesn't have to be TRX. Plenty of good ones out there. But while TRX or suspension trainers are often known as good way to exercise, body weight exercise, put your feet in the straps, do various push-ups, jackknives, a lot of things like that, or rows, body weight. And while it is good for that, I'll be honest with you, I like to use it the most for stretching, and I probably stretch with this anywhere from 2 to 4 times a week. And just want to show you some simple routine that I often do. And some of these stretches, if you want, you can hold 30 seconds or more if that's what you prefer. Say you're done with your exercise or workout for the day, you can easily do that. But I'm not necessarily going to hold 30 seconds just for demo purposes, but also depending on what I'm doing or trying to do, I don't always hold 30 seconds. I may hold 10, 15, 20 seconds, maybe do a few reps or whatever I feel like. But I'm just going to give you simple routine, and I think these are great just because I can get into stretches that I can't get into without these. So let me just start off here. So the first one, I'm going to stretch my lats, but I'm also, my lats back here attached to the arm, go up overhead, but also I'm going to stretch all through my spine. So I'm going to sit back until the point I feel a good stretch from my lower back all the way up to my neck, but also feel these lats here that attach to my arms. And there again, I can hold for, that's a great stretch. I feel both of them stretching there. There again, I can hold 30 seconds. What I can also do is if I want to emphasize one side or the other, shift my weight. Now I'm feeling my left arm stretch more, my left side. Shift back to the right. Now I'm getting more emphasis on that right lat and the right upper back. So I can change my emphasis of stretch with this, and that's one of the big things I like about the suspension trainers. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do a golf position stance. I'm gonna get in my golf stance. One hand stays down, the other goes up. And obviously I'm going to alternate. But I can do this both looking straight ahead as well as I can turn and look towards my hand. I can do either way. Okay, and obviously when you're doing that, the other hand is staying tight to kind of anchor yourself. Okay, quads off. This is a good way to get, if you want to do like a squat stretch, I'll just use the handles here, sit down into a comfortable position, and there again, it's like if you got severe knee issues, you can't do this, then obviously you're not going to do this. But with the support here, you ought to be able to do this at least 10-20 seconds at a time. Maybe come up a little bit, go back down just like that. Okay, I can also stretch the side of my hip, step back behind. So I'm putting all my emphasis on the outside of my right hip. There again, I can change how I shift in order to feel it in the right spot. Obviously, I'm going to do both sides there again. I'm not necessarily going to hold all these for 30 seconds, just for demo purposes. That's a good stretch on the outside of my glutes there, good stretch. Yeah, obviously I can do stretch this way, stretch the groin muscles on the inside of my leg. Same thing, depending if I'm doing this before workout, I may just hold briefly, go back and forth. But if I'm doing it just to increase my flexibility or after a workout, there again, I may hold 30 seconds or more. but it just allows the straps and handles allow you to get in a position it's difficult to otherwise. That's really what I like about it. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and face the other direction, and I'm getting a good pec stretch here through the front of my chest. So there again, I'm just leaning forward to the point. Oh, that's awesome stretch right there. But I'm not just totally relaxing my hands. I'm keeping a little bit of tension there on my hands. And there again, typically I'll do this 30 seconds. Then from there, I can either go kind of a Superman stretch up overhead. There again, lean forward to the point you feel a good stretch in the front of your shoulders. Awesome position right there, good stretch. There again, I'm taller, so if you're shorter, you may have to move a little further forward or a little further back until you feel it right. But okay, then biceps, just nice and tall here. Oh, that's great bicep stretch, as well as the front of the shoulder. There again, typically if after a workout, I'll hold at least 30 seconds. Okay, triceps. So I can hold here, and I'm getting a good tricep stretch, a little bit through the lats too. But because all those muscles kind of run at different angles, I can change the angle by rotating my hands. Now I'm feeling completely different stretch. It isn't one as bad versus the other. They're both good, so do them both. Or you can just kind of slowly alternate from one to the other. Okay, hip flexors. You know, you hear about hip flexors in the front here getting tight because we sit a lot, and they do. So our psoas muscle in particular starts here at the hip, runs diagonal, attaches to your 5 lumbar vertebrae. So because it runs at an angle, a good way to get it is one foot forward, the other foot back. So right now I'm feeling a good stretch through the front of my hip, but now if I want to get more of an angle, I can rotate. See, that's what I can't do this without the straps. So that's what's ideal about this. This is a totally different stretch. The first was good, this is better. There again, I can kind of rotate, find what feels tight, hang out there. Obviously I want to do both sides. Other foot forward. And I've got a little imbalance left to right, right-handed. It's okay, so I'm working with what my body can do, what it will allow. Little rotation there. But I'm not forcing it, but basically, you know, I'm getting stretch kind of head to toe with this. Now, if I get kind of the calves, I can bend the knees, so I'm getting more closer towards the ankle, so I'm stretching that ankle, that Achilles tendon area. And there again, I can slowly shift 1, 2, as well as, you know, do 8 to 10 reps, so to speak, as well as just holding that stretch for 30 seconds or longer if that's what I want. But like I said, these allow you to get into a little more of a three-dimensional stretch, because we have muscles and fascia, our connective tissue that surrounds the muscles, go in every which direction, you know, not just vertical, but horizontal as well as diagonal. So this kind of gives you a little more of a three-dimensional stretch. And like I say, I'll be honest, I think it's a great stretching tool. And there again, you don't necessarily have to have TRX brand. There's Jungle Gym is another good brand from Lifeline that's about half the price. But suspension trainers make great body weight strengthening tools, but they're also great ways to stretch. Okay, just to kind of finish up my thoughts on stretching, there's more than one way to stretch. There isn't just one way to stretch. There's several different ways to exercise. There's several different types of ways you can do resistance training. So why should there only be one way to stretch? Typically, you know, we thought of stretching as holding for 30 to 60 seconds at a time and letting things elongate. Well, some people can, can let that muscle relax and they can get the stretch they need. A lot of people can't, and I think that's part of our Western society. We're always on the go, we're impatient. We have everything right now, and we can't just let go and hold a position 30 to 60 seconds to really get the kind of stretch we need, maybe in a lot of cases. I was that way, which is why I do a lot more mobility work, but also I may hold a stretch 10, 15 seconds and just do 2-3 reps. Still adds up to 30 seconds. So like I say, different ways to do it. But like I say, how you got to find what's right for you. Some people like yoga, and yoga is great if that's what you like to do. Yoga is not all stretching. It's part of stretching is a part of yoga, but it's not everything. And there's different types of yoga, and I'm not an expert in that. But I'm too ADD to do an entire hour-long class of that. So I'll do 10, 15, up to 20 minutes at a time, doing various stretching mobility here and there throughout the week. That's the way I like to do it, and I use a lot of different tools, from Indian clubs to work on posture and range of motion with the shoulder. There's so many different ways to do it. Just don't think there's only one way to stretch. But we used to, for a while, there were a couple studies 20-25 years ago that showed that doing long stretches, 30 seconds to a minute or even longer, immediately before we do something like a sprint or a vertical jump, we actually lost power. So because of that, the pendulum kind of swung too far to avoiding static stretching, which is what you do when you hold 30 to 60 seconds. That's called a static stretch. As opposed to more dynamic stretch to warm up, or this is something more dynamic stretches, lunges, various positions, and so forth. That's dynamic stretching that is often done before exercise, before sports training. But like I say, there's a lot of different ways to stretch. I think ideally you'll get your best results. If you want to stretch 30 seconds or more, do it after your workout, after your exercise, or do it in a separate time. And you can either use a massage gun, a foam roller, whatever you want to help loosen up the muscles first. But there's more than one way to stretch. So if I show you something different, hey, I've seen a lot of different things. There's a lot of different ways to do it.